Hello, this is Colin Thompson. Welcome back to our latest episode in our COVID Coaches series. So guys, girls, we hope that you're really finding value in what we're sharing with you. Tonight we have Coach Caneisha back, and we're going to talk once again about happiness and joy. If you've watched our previous episodes, you'll notice that we constantly talk about happiness. We constantly talk about mindset. We want to continue because the entire time that you're going through this lockdown, extended homestay, it's very important that you master two areas. These two areas are having a strong mindset. Having a strong mindset allows you then to start focusing on the present and the future. Now, hopefully, you're having a strong and positive mindset, but the importance is having a very strong mindset. The second part is communication, ensuring that you have a positive environment to communicate with your friends and family, and your family can communicate with you as well. It's important that during this time, you got to be sharing your feelings, your emotions. If somebody has anxiety or fear, they can bring that freely into the environment and talk people down. So those two things are very important. So today, we're continuing with a positive mindset. And again, the better you get with communicating with your family, the more easy it is to be happy because you have that atmosphere that's been dealt. So Coach Caneisha, welcome back. And before you start, I'm sorry, I want to say to people, I feel like I have solidarity with you all because, brothers, I know you're at home with no haircuts. So, so I am trying to hold tough with you. I know it's tough. I do have access to a barber though, but I'm going to stay. I am going to try to maintain for you because even though we have access, we're still minding our restrictions and not going out as much. So I'll probably go to a barbershop once a week, once a month. I know some of you contacted me being frustrated that you can't get to your barbershop. So guys, I'm doing it with you. And I know the women are feeling a certain way as well. Okay, so Coach Caneisha Berry, welcome back to the program. And please talk to us about today's topic, filling your joy cup, filling up your joy cup.
So Colin, I learned about a joy cup over 10 years ago when I was actually facing a personal trauma. And my life coach, she taught me about this concept of joy and how joy literally can help people overcome trauma. And they've done research to show that people who have joy tend to recover even faster from cancer, from devastation. Like when here in America years ago, we had the Hurricane Katrina.
Right.
So there's been research to prove that there's an area in our brain that once the brain is fully developed, it's the only area that can actually increase and decrease. And it's where joy lives. So the more joy you have in your life, the better you can handle everything that you're facing. So I start calling that my joy cup. So my joy cup runneth over, kind of from the scripture that says, my cup runneth over. I always check in on myself to see when I'm running low, emotionally low, sad, worried, stressed. I know at that moment I need to go and tap into joy.
And how do you manufacture the right word? How do you manufacture joy, especially when you're low? When you're happy, you manufacture, but when you're low, how do you manufacture that joy?
Yeah. So one of the things, the most important thing you have to do is remember that like the joy journey is individual and independent. So you want to make sure you begin to, if you don't know, if you've never done this kind of work before, figure out what does bring you joy. And the thing that's a trap that I hear a lot of women say, particularly moms, is, oh, my children bring me joy. Well, that's okay, but you don't want, that is too much burden for a child.
Right.
That they have to be your joy. So you have to figure out independently for yourself what brings you joy. So some of the things, like for me, when I was going through my traumatic time, I learned that nature brings me great joy. Like it literally could fill up my joy cup immediately. And so I like to go to a place where there's water, like a pond, a park where there are trees. When we lived in the UAE, I could literally drive down my street to a place that had beautiful mountains. And just being there, Colin, just made my whole body feel like I can conquer anything. And so that's joy. And just, so what brings you joy? Some people love to read a book, The Great Escape. Some people love to watch a movie, but it's important to figure out for yourself. There are times when I'm feeling emotionally low. Another thing I do is I'll go out and take pictures. I like photography. So find out what brings you joy. Again, that's independent of other people, because you want to be able to do this for yourself, by yourself. This is true self-care.
Right. So let me play the devil's advocate here, because
Sure.
I'd like to explain, first of all, the difference between joy and happiness, if there is a difference, and also the challenge we have. And you gave some great examples. Each example was
Causes God outside.
involved you going outside. So I can imagine people looking out the window at the mountains and just starting to cry because they can't go find their joy. But there is a way for us to find joy inside of a house. I mean, there is a way to do that. How can we? How can people find that joy or happiness or joy and start filling their cup when they're living under these restrictions?
Yeah, and let's be sincere, because yeah, we are restricted, but you can still go outside in your backyard if you have
Yes.
a yard,
Yes.
or if you live in an apartment complex like where we live. It was in China. There was a pretty little area that had a little pond, a little lake. You can just go sit out there. You just don't go sit with a group of people.
Right.
So you can still find it, right? And just even if you have to do it early in the morning, but find that thing that brings you joy. So maybe, like, I'm a morning person. I used to love waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning when everyone is asleep and sitting in my living room and praying. That brought me joy, because I would set my day and set my mind before anything was happening, in that peace and that quiet. Again, reading. Find your nook. Find some little area in your house where you claim that spot from a certain time to a certain time, and you say, listen, guys, from 3 to 5, you can't come into this area.
Yeah.
Find something else to do. You go find what brings you joy, but this is my joy cup space. So you can begin to create places. Design yourself something like really cute. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on designing your house, and so just moving things around and making yourself cute little areas to create, joy. So
Yeah.
whatever brings you joy. Some people like those like coloring mindful books. That's another way to just relax your mind, tap it within. So if your creativity. There's so many ways.
It's very interesting because you mentioned having your little private personal space, and that's very good, because that also allows you to clear your mind and think about what really brings you joy. Now, with some people, having that private space, especially in the mayhem that has been going on in your house, that is your joy. But we were talking earlier, and you used the word that I found very important, because in a lot of the discussions I've had with other coaches during this time, when we talk about how to really turn things around, Coach Elise had a very good program. She talked about how she was in an environment that was very bad, her parents, and how she had a conversation with them, and they used the same words you use, the same activity to turn things around. That's gratitude.
Yes.
How does gratitude help us to find that joy, start to fill that joy cup up?
Yeah. So the thing we have to understand is, regardless of what you believe religious wise, we are very spiritual creatures. Like we have spirit. And so gratitude is one of the high level emotions. So some people call it frequency. If you Bible person like me, we understand it to be like gratitude, being thankful is one of those high values that connects us to God. But what it does, typically what gratitude does, it gets your mind off of you. It gets your mind off of everything you think is going wrong. It begins to shift your focus so that you can see every amazing thing that you still have in your life. The thing about our mind, right? It's an amazing tool. People say, I don't have an imagination, but they often imagine the worst that could happen. That's still visualization. You're still visualizing. You're just visualizing the wrong thing. What will bring you out of that immediately is if you begin to start thinking about, what am I grateful for? And maybe it's something as simple as, thank you, God, that I woke up this morning, or thank you, universe, or whatever you call it. Thank you that even though these kids are driving me crazy, thank you that I have them.
Right.
Even though I wish they would leave me alone, thank you that they want to be around me. You just start really looking for things to be grateful for. In marriage, it gets really sometimes very challenging for some couples to be around each other as much as we've been around each other right now. But then think about the person who is single and they wish they had someone to be around. Or think about, if you're single, think about the person who's married in a harbor marriage and they're stuck in the house with their spouse.
Right.
So you just have so much to be grateful for. So we just have to, gratitude allows us to shift our focus to all the good things that's happening in our life instead of focusing on all the bad things that's happening in our life.
Yeah, and I want to stay here for a moment because I think there are several things people can do to build up their gratitude. And you mentioned at the end there, once you're in that gratitude space mentally, you start to find more joy and happiness because you're not as concerned, but you're being more thankful. And I know that a very good exercise, as Caneisha mentioned a moment ago, people are still going outside. So next time you go to the grocery store and you recognize that the person working there is coming into contact with hundreds of people a day. When you go outside right now, you're concerned with coming in contact with one person. They're coming in contact with hundreds per day. And they are there because they want to help, but they're there because they have to work for that money. They need to be there. So perhaps show a little gratitude, say thank you.
Yes.
People having the gas station still open. I mean, people who are outside, just be very thankful and have gratitude towards everybody who literally risking their life right now. I know here, I want to say this the correct way. While we're going through this in China, in the first few weeks, every day they were giving new numbers of infections and people who have died. We were showing gratitude, quite frankly, that we were still healthy. We wanted to make sure that we recognize that some families right now, in the last 12 hours, got some bad news that changed their lives. So we wanted to really show gratitude, and it really helped us really pick up the atmosphere in our home because we want to now start to look forward. And again, it helped us to build that strong mindset. So Coach Caneisha, I know this is a very quick session today, but in summary, again, just your tips again on building it up and the importance of having that joy cup.
Yeah. So definitely, like, again, important. The reason you want to make sure you're tapping into joy is because it literally will help you overcome the trauma. It will move you out of trauma. It will give you the strength to keep enduring whatever might be hard or challenging right now. It's better to do it with a full joy cup than an empty one. When you're running on empty, you have nothing to pour out to your family, to your friends. So that's why it's important to fill your own joy cup. That's why I said your cup runneth over. What's in the cup is for you. What runs over is for everyone else.
Can I interrupt you because I just thought about something? Would you recommend, because you made a very good point, when the cup runneth over, you can then help your family. Is it important to start your joy cuppeth filling in the morning, first thing in the morning?
I'm a morning person. Absolutely, for me, it's important. Interesting enough, I've coached some people who I have a miracle mindset program. I coached some people who they love to do the miracle mindset after school at the end of their day before they would enter into their homes with their family. So again, everyone is individual. You have to know yourself well enough, trust yourself, do what you need to do to fill your cup. Understand when your cup is low. Some of the signs when your joy cup is low, you're feeling more stressful than ever. Maybe you are easily agitated. Like now everything is getting on your nerve. Those are signs and indications that, you know what, I need to go and fill my joy cup.
Right. So Coach Caneisha, thank you for returning. And I think you ended on the best note. When you know that you're starting to lose it, it's important that you take action to calm yourself down and fill up your joy cup. So thanks for returning to the program. And as usual, we'll see you back here in a few episodes. And I know you're there in Hosky, North Carolina, and I hope everybody there is staying well and safe. Okay, thanks, Caneisha.
We are. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.